Hello, everybody. It's Jamie Hughes, and I'm here with my baby girl, Autumn Grace. And Autumn, you want to tell everybody hello?
Hey.
And we're looking forward to Christmas coming up, right?
Yep.
What are you going to ask Santa Claus for?
A baby doll and a bumper in a Barbie Jeep.
And a Barbie Jeep.
And a bumper with baby clothes.
Okay, all right. Well, you tell everybody.
Dad, you know what? Last time when I was looking for my elf, you know what?
What?
He did something naughty.
Your elf did?
Yeah, you know last time it did to me?
What?
Last time it put candy in my mouth, little piece, and it made me swallow it.
Wow. That elf on the shelf is being kind of silly. Now, tomorrow, everybody, we want to let you know that we will be in Hyman, Kentucky.
Yep.
For the Christmas parade.
Yep. And
Santa Claus is going to be there.
And if you want to come to my birthday, no.
And her birthday's coming up, everybody.
Mm-hmm. And my birthday's at the sports park if you want to come.
Okay, you're invited to come to her birthday. All right.
No, if you want to come.
Okay. And then at the parade tomorrow in Hyman, we're going to see Mickey Mouse and Minnie Mouse and the Grinch. The Grinch, yes.
You know who I invited to the parade?
Who?
To sit in with the Grinch with?
Mm-hmm. Who?
No, Kai and Tate.
So Kai and Tate Mosley.
Dad, I wonder if we can get a special chair, if you can build a special chair for Braxton because he has a broken leg.
Need a special chair for Braxton who has a broke leg. We'll see. But you just go tell Mommy, everybody, good night, okay?
Night.
All right. She wanted to jump on here just for a minute. We hope all of you are having preparations for a Merry Christmas and that you had a very good Thanksgiving. We have not had a chance to be on here in a little while. And so I thought we'd jump on here and talk just a few minutes with you anyhow. And my buddy might be getting to join me here in a few minutes, I think. But again, Knott County Central opened up first basketball game of the season. We'll talk about that. And then they had actually their second game last night. Since we last talked to you, we had a chance to go over in Perry County, Kentucky, and cover the West Perry Warriors. I have to get that straight between West Perry and East Perry. I'll tell you about it, how I've figured out how to do that in a minute. But they had a big classic over there and invited us to come over, and we covered that. And then our friend Todd Meadows, Todd was able to go down to Jackson, Kentucky. Look here. Hey, listen to me now. You think this ain't a good show? Let's see if I can't bring this cat right here on board with us. Live and in color. Mr. Vance Hurley, how are you, brother?
Good. As soon as I get this phone shined up a little bit.
Hey, you got her shined up good. Got the beard and all. Oh, you turned me backwards. That's perfect. You're getting this thing better by the minute, Big Vance. Son, while I got you on here, tell everybody what you thought about them Patriots last night. I thought they looked pretty good.
I thought they looked very good. They the big thing I liked was the intensity that they brought to the table. Like that's a big factor for a lot of people is if they're playing hard and all that stuff. You really gotta take into consideration like it's early in the season, and I know Coach Huff's never satisfied, but I think he's got some good problems right now. If you ask me, that's just my personal opinion. He's got some good problems.
Well, last night I wondered if that was all of Pikeville's team. So James come out and asked them, and they said yes, that was their team. So you took on what I think is one of the two or three best teams in the 15th region, and Vance. They led them pretty big, and I felt like they beat them at some spots that I didn't know we would be able to handle Pikeville with.
Braxton Reed done a phenomenal job.
You beat me to the punchline, man. I called on the air about how Braxton was playing the first quarter, but I don't know if we win the ball game if he didn't play the way he did the second, third, and fourth quarter.
Well, I just want to coin this right here. This is going to be my thing. B. Reed is a different breed.
Put that on a shirt.
Here's the thing, man. I know what it's like to be that kid out there going up against pretty much a 7-footer. Like I've I had those battles, and
And
it's not
again,
easy.
sometimes as I said in the broadcast last night, you be good now. Sometimes you just got to go get the rebounds, go get the ball. If they ain't able to pass it down there low to you, then just run up there and get it. He did difference of times last night, Vance.
Oh yeah, there's a ton of times last night. Like a lot of kids, especially these days, like they go up there, they see a kid like that, man, they lay down before the game starts.
Yeah.
Like he's done for tip off. And man, he just kept grinding, and he got out there and got a taste of it, and he's like, "Well, this ain't so bad," And I thought he done an excellent job of containing that big boy. Because what did that big boy end up with? I can't remember the actual stat line.
It ended up not being near as many as I thought it was going to be. I'll be honest, Vance. Again, at the beginning of the game, I thought we ain't got nobody to guard him. Nobody can stop him. But we ended up being able to stop him, and I felt like it wasn't that Pikeville played bad. It's just Knott County last night proved they're gonna be all right, man.
Hunter Haddix was filling it up. Jaden Huff pitched in there. Drake Sloan pitched in there. They played like a team. Like I said, like the problems Casey Huff has got right now is a good problem. He's just got to fine tune everything and have them ready by March, and it's a good problem to have.
I love the schedule too, Vance, because he's got some games in there that will continue to challenge the guys. And then the next thing you know, we're in the WYMT Mountain Classic, getting to host it in Hyman, Kentucky. And it's been a while since I felt like we had a shot at it as good as I do about this team right now.
I know they got a big challenge. I think they're in the same bracket, same side as Harlan County. But I know Harlan County's a good team, and I'm not to take anything at all from them, but I'm confident in the Patriots. I'm confident in them. Like I really, I think Coach Huff's going to get a good game plan together. He's going to work the far out of them boys and have them ready. We're playing at the big house on the creek bank. I mean, everything is, like if he's, I like our chances. I do.
Well, and then the thing too about games like that is it's kind of like that Kentucky game last night. Everybody they gave us zero chance of winning, and we beat that team by 20 points. Sometimes you just got to get the other team to play your tempo. And if Casey can get them in a running game and that outside shot's hitting, man, I'm bought into them.
Oh, you got a good old and all the fans are behind the entire team now just because of Jeff Shepard's son Reed. I mean, that's it's brought back childhood memories for every one of us. He goes out there and plays hard, gets after it. He's a Kentucky boy through and through. I mean, it's just and I think that when the state's on the bandwagon with them, I think they play better.
Oh, I do too. And Rupp was rocking last night. I still have a hard time when people says Rupp Arena is an old person's gymnasium. I've been in that place before. I was there when Kentucky was 2 or 3 and Florida was number 1. And when that night Kentucky laid the smack down on them, Vance Hurley, it felt like that building was shaking. And I wish they could find ways to make it a bigger game every night down there.
They might be a lot of old people going to them games, but they got to walk a long way. So they still got a little bit left in them.
And they paid a pretty big dollar just to be there.
Oh, absolutely.
Hey, everything else going good over your way, brother?
Oh yeah, buddy. We've been trying to get ready for Christmas, and Zeke's got a big. He's got some wrestling games this weekend. Huh?
Did you have a big Thanksgiving feast?
I was full as a tick. I was rolling around like it was the awfulest time ever was over here. Like it was tough times. I ate so many deviled eggs. Like Tiff tried to put me out in the doghouse.
And then, of course, the Wildcats got a big W. I think if you can beat Louisville, it's a good season. I don't care what the record is. Maybe I'm strange, but I'd go 1-10 as long as they beat Louisville.
Well, here's the thing with me and Louisville. Like, I will support Louisville because they're a state team.
Right.
As long as they ain't playing Kentucky. Now, when they play in Kentucky, they just, they ain't. It's no different. It's like whenever I was coaching at Beaver, like I supported every kid in this school system. But when Hyman come to Top Post, till that game was over, we was
They was the opponent.
Yeah. Yeah, that's just the way it is.
You speak of Beaver, buddy. I'm excited for that little team over there. I know they've took a couple tough losses, but man, they got a big kid that's in the 6th grade that he got a chance to come out there and be something special. And then Nathan Jacobs and Figgy and Stumbo, and they got a good little team over there. All the pieces is what I told the coach the other night. I said, you got all the pieces. We just got to figure out some way to put the puzzle together, you know?
Nathan Jacobs has come out and played some good ball. Mason Sloan is the big kid's name. That's right. You remember that big team I had? His older brother played for me on it.
Okay.
It's one everybody. It's one everybody thought was my youngin.
Yeah.
Big old black-headed boy.
Yeah.
And Mason's his little brother. You got those two. Mason with a little bit of hard work and a couple good off seasons, buddy. You talking about a difference maker on a high school team if he wants it. He's just got to push himself. And then probably the biggest one for me though, both you Stumbo boys have improved tremendously.
Yep.
But the biggest one for me is probably Lucas Linden.
Yeah.
He absolutely is a different kid compared to what he was a year ago. I mean, he gets out there, gets after it, like he's putting up shots, getting rebounds. I mean, he's doing a lot of little things, and you can tell he put in a good off-season of work.
Vance, I love it, too, when you can see kids improve from one time to the next time you watch them. To me, he's that, from where I saw him in the preseason to now, and that ain't been that long ago. You can see improvement just in that time, and I'm happy. Knott County got a lot of good basketball teams and some key players, and that just speaks well for Coach Huff's future too.
Yeah, you cut out there a little bit, Jamie. I couldn't.
I said,
repeat that last statement.
All the different grade school teams that we've got, it just speaks even better for the Patriots. I think we're continuing to trend upward. Would you agree with that?
Oh, absolutely. Hyman's got a good 7th grade group. Car Creek has got a few good, quite a few good 8th graders. I mean, Car Creek's got a good looking bunch, and then that, bless his little heart, that little Mikey Combs, is that his name? Mikey Combs, got his hand broke over. Like he's got a good, he's a good up and comer. I mean, we got a lot of talent coming up. As far as below you grade school teams, I really ain't seen too much. And I've went to, I ain't been able to go to maybe 1 or 2 grade school ball games this year. My nephew's playing for Beaver, Race Hunter. I ain't got to go to many of his games, but I've caught quite a few of them thanks to Hometown Sports Corner.
We enjoyed it, man. We brought you a ton of ball games. In fact, Todd Meadows probably brought 20 grade school games, and I think me and James and the boys have done probably another 10, 15. So we've had a good start. Vance, what's your favorite memory of that YMT, getting back to hit? You played in that WYMT?
Yeah, I played my freshman year in it. My senior year, I was hurt.
Okay.
But probably the adult in me now, like my fondest memory was the hospitality room because I didn't get much playing time. They sure fed us good. They fed us like kings, buddy.
It's a nice tournament, and I'm glad we get to have something like that here in the mountains.
Oh, it's unreal. Like I mean the environment, like you just can't you can't replicate. Man, like when I was a freshman and I was out there, dude, I was like, God, what was like, this has to be like a state tournament. This has to be like playing the state tournament because that Knott County Central was filled to the gills. People was standing. I mean, it was, and I'm not exaggerating. There was people like all the students. They'd be standing up around the top, chasing girls, watching ball, drinking fountain pop from a wax Pepsi cup. I mean, it was like just the old stuff that you can't do nowadays. Like them old fountain pops with that old wax Pepsi cup was some of the best drinks I ever had in my life.
Good times, good memories with your friends and so forth. Oh man, I know I kind of sprung this on you, sent you the invite, but I was glad you were able to jump on here a minute. Now James is committed to having you help us broadcast some games. We got to make this happen, brother.
Well, you just let me know when you fellers need me. I know this Saturday, bright and early, the freshman team has a big, they're gonna play at least 2 games, if not maybe more. They're gonna be like a tournament that they're having at Leslie County. So that's I gotta get Zeke ready for it. He's been down with flu B and strep.
Yeah.
And he gets turned. I guess he won't. He's in rough shape, buddy. I guarantee you, he's gonna have a tough time Saturday. He's gonna look like he's been. Oh yeah.
A little girl has broke out the bubbles. And you talk about that's a first. I was sitting there doing this show and she's blowing bubbles. Surprise! You better go get in the bed, honey. It's your bedtime.
It is a school night. I'd say that I hope there's a whole bunch of kids watching this right now. Hearing their names. Us talking about some of them good old Beaver boys and some of them Hyman boys and Far Creek boys.
What happens, brother, is they come back and see this. But Vance, I got to get to a commercial break, and we got to get this young'un in the bed. I appreciate you jumping on here, though. Okay.
All right, Jamie. I'll see you later, buddy. Thank you for having me.
Hey, thanks as always. And guys, we will take a commercial break. And for those of you that ain't your bedtime, we'll be back talking a little more hoops here and a lot of other stuff here on Little Sports Talk right here tonight.
Thank you, guys. See you later.
Nelson Frazier Funeral Home has 2 locations to serve you and your family in your time of need. We remind you that we have several services to offer you. We've been here for you in your past, we're here for you now, and we'll be here for you in your future time of needs. We remind you again that if there's any way that we can help you, we're here for you and your family. Remember, we have 2 locations to serve you. One in Martin, that phone number is 285-5155, and our Hyman office is 785-9808.
Addiction is a disorder. We treat and we manage addiction like any other disorder. The issue touched me when I start seeing more and more young families fighting addiction, start having babies born with an addiction issue. When we have a great outcome, when we see that person coming back on their feet, working and producing and providing for their family. That's the best outcome, make you feel that you're doing something right.
Are you getting ready to go to Tim Short Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Hazard and buy a new vehicle? Say hello to our friend Brian Gibson. Brian's a family guy who is proud to sponsor tonight's sporting event. Call him at 606-438-0554. He and his family want to wish you a Merry Christmas. He also wants to say thanks to all of his customers that have recently bought vehicles. Once again, that's Brian Gibson at Tim Short Chrysler Dodge. Chad Conley and Conley Insurance Group is your local provider for all your supplemental and life insurance needs. Protection when you need it, peace of mind when you don't. They proudly support all of our youth in this region and wish each team and the athletes a successful and healthy season. Once again, for all your insurance needs, see Chad Conley and Conley Insurance Group.
The Heidemann Promart Home Center has everything you need to winterize your home to save on those power bills when that cold winter weather arrives. When you walk through the doors at the Heidemann Promart, you're greeted by an experienced, knowledgeable staff who knows you, knows what you need, and know where it's located in their store. You don't need your GPS to find your way around the Heidemann Promart. They're large enough to have what you need, but not so big that they can't offer the service you expect. And Heidemann Promart is your headquarters for those energy-efficient, world-famous Anderson and windows. The Hindman Promart Home Center, Highway 160 Hindman. Call 606-785-3151.
And welcome back, everybody, here to Sports Talk. Got a, I guess you'd say, a shortened Sports Talk tonight, as we are on the airways for a little while, though. And we'll give some big shout outs to all of you that are tuning in and say thank you for watching. Thanks to all of our sponsors. Got a bunch of good sponsors, and we couldn't do this without them. I do want to say, too, guys, I've been answering some questions here lately. People says, how can we help you guys do what you're doing? Well, we couldn't do it without our sponsors, but I also want to say without our sponsors, the second greatest thing you could do is to be able to simply go to our Facebook page and hit the follow button. If you will hit the follow button and then maybe like and share our videos, it helps our numbers increase, and that, of course, makes it a little bit easier to get some new sponsors. But that's the biggest way for you coaches and even the parents, especially from now throughout. You just be sure to send us pictures and send us some scores and stats. And there's Logan Bartram tuning in. And Logan, of course, I know got to be on cloud nine with the way his Patriots are playing. And there's Gus says, has he missed anything? Why, no, Gus, you're right here. Big Vance Hurley joined me a few moments ago, though. And then my daughter sat in on the beginning of the show. I think everybody and their brother needs to see that episode as she told everybody what she wanted for Christmas. And then I thought she went to bed. And next thing I know, she's in here blowing bubbles and scared me to death. But that's pretty cool. There's my buddy Josh Mock and Kaylee Mock. How are you, Miss Kaylee? We're thankful again to have all of you that are watching tonight. Harvey Thomas says Not Central looked good against Pikeville. Harvey, I agree with that. I sure do. And Gus, you did miss Big Vance. Not just his call-in either, but he jumped on here. And next time I may have him on as a video guest, and we'll see if he can't help us meet Hoover, as he calls him. Y'all ever seen Hoover on any of Vance's posts? He don't break him out too often, but boy, I'm telling you something. He looks like a twin brother to the superintendent Hoover. And again, Logan Bartram, you're right. Congratulations to Kaiser on his award. We're thankful and grateful for everything that we're getting to see these young kids on and off the court get to achieve. And guys, again, tell us what you think about some of the games you've seen. Tell us again, maybe some big games you're looking forward to. I think we got some big games, no doubt about that, coming up here in the near future. Knott County Central, let's bring up their schedule. We'll go through a couple of those schedules and see if we can get everybody on the conversation of some of the games that are coming up here for the Knott County Central Patriots, as they are, of course, 2-0. Next up for them will be Lee County. Lee County is 1-0. Got a win over Redbird, 84-55. Then they'd play Pike Central. Pike Central, Coach Eric Ratliff's Hawks have not played. And so their first game will be in that DJ Begley Classic. Then, of course, from there, Knott County will move on to that WYMT Mountain Classic, as Martin County and Knott Central will play in the WYMT Mountain Classic, and we're excited to get to have that game for you. I thought we played Martin County last year. We did. Knott County beat Martin. No, actually, it's the year before that. So the Patriots and Martin County did not play last year. But that'll be a good matchup, first round of that Mountain Classic. Logan Bartram, tell me, man, what is your favorite WYMT moment or moments? If you got a couple of them, share those in the comment sections, brother. guys, for me, the YMT Classic goes back to the days of when Knott County and Clay County met in the finals. My dad and me, I don't know how many years in a row we went to the Mountain Classic and watched every game for every classic. And I'm talking about some blowouts. It was late in the night in the first round. We never left. We wanted to say that we watched them all until we moved. Maybe my freshman year, we moved to Mount Sterling, and we missed that classic from time I was probably third, fourth grade. Until that time, we didn't miss a game. And even then, we come back and I think caught maybe the finals of it. But Logan says, yeah, Lee County tomorrow at home. Everybody come out and support the Patriots. That'll be a doubleheader. Guys, we're seeing a bunch of doubleheaders played this year. And I've heard some people, some friends of mine, I don't care to disagree with my buddies, they said they didn't care for them. Me, on the other hand, I like when we can see the girls and the guys play the same night. Last night, the only thing I think Knott Central's game needed was some of their classmates from the girls' team that didn't get to be there. I hated it, but that was the way that it was. And Harvey Thomas says Todd Kraft would probably be in a few of those Mountain Classic highlights. I agree 100% with that, Todd. I'm old enough, though, to remember when Parton and Huff and some of those guys played. I watched Dr. Anthony Yachts, my buddy over at Quantum Healthcare, play in the Mountain Classic. The Osbornes that are helping Coach Casey Huff play. Watched them play as June Buchanan Crusaders in the Mountain Classic. Then Clint and Clark Stepp and Tate Cox with that June Buchanan team. I watched Hazard on a comeback. I didn't think there was any chance the Bulldogs could win, and the next thing you know, they won. Just a bunch of different stuff over the years. Saw Stamper have a big Mountain Classic. That always will stand out in my mind. I feel like Stuart Stamper is a player that, for whatever reason, don't get the credit that he deserves. As, in my opinion, one of the best to ever play in Knott County. Not just because he scored a bunch of points either. Stuart just worked on his game and played under a bunch of different coaches, which is a little tough, I think, for him, I would say. But he still went on to have a good college career and something we should be proud of. And old timers like me, Jamie Couch, you're not old, brother. I've seen you lift weights and come out of there looking like a young pup. But glad you're tuning in, Couch. And there's Johnny and Jackie Gayhart says they like the doubleheader. I knew they would. They get to watch them all. And Logan agrees with me on Stuart. But guys, again, we do want to say we're excited about the basketball games. Get out and watch as many of them as you can. Prairie Central, since Kaiser's Papa Bears on here, I think the Commodores are another one of the top. I have said all for a month now that I felt like Breathitt, Purry, Knott, Letcher, and Wolf. And I took some ridicule for not putting Hazard in the conversation. But guys, I just didn't know that Hazard had the depth. Coach Holland's got two dandies. I know that. I'm a big, huge fan of Hazard's point guard. He came over and played in my Mountain Classic, or Hometown Sports Corner Classic. I got that Mountain Classic on my mind. But, and so I'm always partial to those kids that come over and play in our Classic. And then, of course, we know what Evanshawn can do. But still yet, in the back of my mind, I just don't know about the depth. I don't know who's going to be the third, fourth scorer, who's going to be able to step up and hit a shot when teams are focusing on one of those guys and the other guy's in foul trouble. I think James Salmon said it best the other night. Players that have superstars a lot of times find themselves a little short because they don't have somebody to help pass the ball to and help pick up big shots, and that happens sometimes. Logan says May Valley may be the only team to win the Classic to go on to win the state championship. He said Valley maybe. He's right, I think. That team, Logan, was loaded, and Coach Eliza Justice come in. And, you know, it's hard all these years removed still yet not to refer to that high school team that he played on. Nathan Days says Hazard will now have Nick Ratliff. Nathan, I was waiting to confirm that. I had been told that, but hadn't talked to anybody that could tell me for sure that's happened. Nathan, Nick will be a third offensive threat for Hazard. You can count on that. And when you have, and some people says arguably the best coach in the mountains, I don't even think there's nothing to argue about it. Coach Al Holland is the GOAT. When you've got rings that he's got, enough championship rings that it takes two hands to wear them, then you deserve to be regarded as one of the best. And even then, how many coaches can say they won it at 3 different schools? Now you think about that. He won regional titles at MC Napier, won regional titles at Perry Central, which had consolidated and had so many obstacles they had to go through to get the teams together and to get them to jail. I know so much about that because that's when I broke into broadcasting. And then to transition to the biggest rival that Perry Central's got at Hazard and to win regional titles there, it's impressive, fellas. Nick will help them, though, Nathan. He will. He'll make a big, big difference there. And I'll coach that kid, help coach him, and I wish him the best of luck. I do. Harvey Thomas says, do you remember Duke Gayhart? Yes, remember him well. Had a chance. I covered, I guess, Duke the whole way through. Playing over there. And that's soft touch for a big man. 10-footer, 15-footer, and worked hard, played hard, Harvey. I sure do. I remember him well. But that Mountain Classic just brings so many different memories up to everybody. And the thing I like about it, too, is Perry Central and Knott Central big enough to host it each year. And you know, for years, I could look it up. I've got it on my notes. That classic was won every year by Clay County. Coach Bobby Keefe, another one of the GOATs. The thing about Bobby Keefe is he could you give him an average player, and by the time he got done with that average player, he looked like a great player. And Richie gets all the credit for that, but Farmer wasn't the only one that Bobby Keefe done that with. There's a list a mile long of players that walked into the gymnasium, and they'll tell you off the air that I wasn't even a good player, let alone a great player, until Coach Keefe got done with us. And so Clay County won that Mountain Classic for so many times, but finally a couple teams broke free there and won a couple of them. And it's pretty neat to have that Mountain Classic banner hanging up in the rafters. No doubt about that. Perry Central, back to them and my buddy Shannon Hoskins. And one time somebody said, well, you got to get Shannon. I said, what do you mean? He said, well, you don't ever talk about them winning the region. I said, when Shannon wins it, I'll be the first one to be on board, and you couldn't be no further wrong. In fact, Shannon and me student taught together. We did our student teaching at Cordia. He did his student teaching under Jeff Honeycutt. Jeff was the PE teacher, and Hoskins done his student teaching. We both graduating from Alice Lloyd at the same time, and I was student teaching under Mr. Bill Melton, one of my heroes. They call the baseball coach down at Cordia, and the history teacher. Fantastic guy. One of the best times I ever had was student teaching down at Cordia. But with that said, though, I was tickled to death when Hoskins won his regional title. And the thing, he also is proof of another point that I've been saying a lot here lately. The next year, when Hoskins won his first one there at Perry, nobody was talking about him except for me. I said, guys, until they play their first game, Perry's the reigning champion. I never get into preseason polls as far as discussions with people until they at least hear me out. You have to go by what you saw in the summer, what you think they return on paper, and a little bit of luck when you predict those preseason top 10s. I always think you have to value, though, the fact that somebody won the region the year before. That's why I've got Breathitt. I wholeheartedly believe Knott County and Perry are the two teams that will probably meet in the finals of the region unless they meet sooner. But I still think Breathitt needs to be preseason number one because they're the reigning champions. They got a pretty good player in Spurry. I think he's one of the 5 best. And they got a Hall of Fame coach. I was doing some homework for one of my games coming up next week. Guys, do you know that Jeff Honeycutt probably has the second most regional titles in the 14th region? And probably top 5 in the mountains of among active coaches right now. And with that kind of exposure, Coach Honeycutt and his Bobcats deserve a tip of the hat, a little preseason love. There's Drake Sloan. How are you, Drake? Buddy, I'm going to tell you something other. This is just a fact, not because it's on here. But Drake's three-pointer, if I had acted like I wanted to when Drake hit that 3 last night, they'd have said, you can't ever sit on media row again. When we broadcast these games, we're supposed to be biased. We're not supposed to refer to Knott County as we. We're not supposed to let anybody know we're cheering for a particular team. But got a chance to help Coach Drake. I didn't coach him. I just tried to make sure he kept up with how many fouls he had. But I've watched him grow up, and when you see kids succeed like Drake is, it makes you awful proud. And he hit that 3, and I thought, wow. I didn't know who shouted the loudest, his mommy Amber or Sparky. I watched Jason Drake at the top row of the gym last night almost as much as I did you on the court. He was having fun too last night. It was a good game. Gus says it's almost as good as Sparky. Gus, I did coach Sparky, and Sparky got a long way to go to catch Drake. He ain't gonna catch Drake. There's Bobby Mosley. Says, I don't know, Bobby. You just like fighting chickens and trading knives with his daddy. That's why you being so kind to him. But again, we do like the way all of them's playing. And Drake won't mind me saying it that way. I want everybody this year, I challenge you to acknowledge the players that have big games. But for this Knott County Central team to cut the nets down at the end of the season, they have to have the same attitude that they've got right now. Family first. Be happy for whoever's having a good game. Whoever made the shot, everybody celebrate. If they can keep that mentality the whole season, then I think things will be good for them at the end of the year. I sure do. Jason's partner, we done told that one. But again, me and Neil Feltner and you will never forget that night in Wolfe County, Kentucky. I promise you that. I turned shades of white that a T-shirt ain't never seen when you pulled that snake out down there. But it was quite comical, to say the least. I do too, Harvey. I think it would be good for them and good for the Eastern Kentucky. I know that the fans, and I will say this too, whoever wins the region this year, I don't think that the mountains of Eastern Kentucky will have one bit of problem rallying around them and cheering them on. Buy your ticket now to the state tournament because it's going to be a fun time. I do. But you know, another thing, we always, and I do, I'm already looking forward to the state tournament. But don't you miss out on some of these matchups that are going to happen. Some of these rivalry games, this Mountain Classic, the All-A that's coming up. This can be a very fun season for the boys and the girls. Now, I'm shying away from talking about our top 10 tonight because I want to do that with my buddy James Sandlin. Me and James are going to try to get on here every week, maybe if it's just 15, 20 minutes, and talk about the Alice Wood College top 10. And we'll have scores to go by next week. And so that'll make things a little more easier to discuss and break down, I guess. Trying to keep up some of these comments so that you guys are doing a great job in the comment section. Nathan Day says, I'm a Bulldog now. Nathan, buddy, that's just almost hard for me to believe. But I get it. I do. I get it. My daughter goes to Knott Central. I went to Knott Central. My daughter, my baby girl that was just in here earlier blowing the bubbles, if she's athletic and plays sports and should go somewhere other than Knott Central, then you better believe that I'll put on a hat and hoodie of wherever she's playing at. So I've never understood people that had a problem with people supporting their kids. At the end of the night, this thing's too short, life's too short. for us not to wholeheartedly support our kids, and I understand that totally. Guys, but again, let's talk a couple more schedules. I got Prairie Central's pulled up here. The DJ Classic for them is 7:30. So Knott plays about 5 o'clock, Drake. I think I'm right. And then Perry will play I'm pretty sure that it's next to the last game. They play McGoffin at 7:30 is what this schedule has. But I'm not sure that it's not even a little bit earlier than that. But anyhow, Prairie Central opens up against McGoffin. The Hornets over there will come to Hazard to take on the Prairie Central Commodores. And then Prairie Central's second game out will be that Mountain Classic. They play Harlan. Now, my schedule says Harlan. I'm assuming that's the independent school. The Green Dragons that were so good. They were very good last year. And that'll be a fun game there. Gus says, Jamie, it's Friday. You're right. That's why it makes more sense to me. Perry plays Friday night. They'll play McGoffin. And Knott County plays Saturday. Thank you for that, Gus. So in the comments section there, he's updated us, and he's as always 100% right when it comes to talking about schedules. Anyhow, Prairie Central will open up Friday night. 2 games on Friday and about 6 games on Saturday. I knew Breathitt plays the last game on Saturday, Gus. That's why in my mind I thought, how can they get those 2 games in there? The last game on Saturday will be the Breathitt matchup. But then they play Harlan in the YMT Classic on the 5th of December. Guys, it's here. Can you believe the Mountain Classic is already here? Prairie Central then goes to Buckhorn on the 12th. Then they play an ARH Big Lou Classic at Prairie Central. They'll play Madisonville North Hopkins. Should be a good matchup there. Then they play a Powell County team that nobody's talking about. But I promise you that Powell's got 2 kids that can play on any team in the 14th region. You remember I said that. You will agree with me. I think some surprises could come out of that Powell County program down there. Then on December the 20th, Perry will go to Tennessee to play in a Kingsport, Tennessee tournament. And then after Christmas, they travel to Florida to play down at the Tampa Bay Christmas Invitational. So that's kind of their schedule up to Christmas there. And let's hit the Hazard Bulldogs schedule here just a second. And we'll talk about the first month of their schedule. Wow, a couple people chime in on some things here. Actually, here's Letcher. Let's do that first. Matt Taylor's Letcher Central Cougars got their first win over at Prestonsburg. And had a buddy, he said, what's happened to Letcher? He said, you told me they was a top 5 team, and they just did beat Prestonsburg. Well, tell me about the just did. Prestonsburg's much better than everybody thought. Keithley, in my opinion, may be one of the best guards in the 15th region. May be the best guard in the 15th region. With Keithley's ability to score and then get other people involved, then a transfer kid that moved into Prestonsburg from Martin County, the Black Cats. It's a tough loss for them, but they played good against a Letcher Central team who I told you guys in the preview show, PD, Mr. Dixon, is the real deal. And he had a double-double, and I think he ended up with 26 points, and he got Letcher on the map with that 79-72 win. They'll go to Buckhorn. Then Letcher plays Harlan County in that Mountain Classic on December the 4th. That'll be a tough matchup there. And then December the 7th, they go to McGoffin County. December the 9th, they play Central Wise, Virginia. Then December the 12th, I've told you guys, buy your ticket. It'll be a good one. Both rounds. Round 1 will be at, yes, sir, it's at Letcher Central. And that's the Knott County at Letcher matchup that I guarantee you a bunch of Patriots and Cougars have already got circled on their calendar. Then December the 15th, the Letcher goes to Hazard. That's another must-see 14th region matchup, I think. They too play in the ARH Big Lou Classic at Prairie Central. They'll play Belfry. And Belfry, so the Patriots can contest the big team. December the 18th, they'll host Cordia. Mitch Smith's Cordia Lions. And let me say this too now for everybody talking about Mitch. Guys, they got the right guy. He just got to get some talent. Got to get some numbers out. If Mitch Smith, you give him 5 players that Cordia's had in the past, and they might be different banners hanging down there in Lots Creek, Kentucky. I'm that convinced that Mitch is a good coach and an even better guy. He just got to get some talent, and that's not a notch against the players that are there, but it takes, I think, more players right now, for a matter of fact, than what Mitch has got out playing to compete in the 14th. And but again, they've got the right guy. Just give him some time and let him build that program down there. Then Letcher goes to the Smoky Mountain Classic in Gatlinburg, Tennessee on December the 20th. And then he got an open date on the 23rd of December. Does Letcher Central there. And now let's try to find that Hazard Bulldogs schedule. I know the Bulldogs opened up against that Cordia team that I was just talking about. Coach Al Holland's team is 1-0. I got that 74-18 victory over Cordia. And then the first game, Friday night, 7:30, they will play Owsley County. And then on December the 2nd, they'll have Jackson City. So back-to-back games there for the Bulldogs. December the 4th, Buckhorn will come to town. December the 7th, Leslie will go to Hazard. The 9th, Paris High School will come to Hazard. The 15th, Letcher Central will be at Hazard. That, again, I think is a matchup, must-see basketball game. Montgomery County, of course, got a big school. They'll come to Perry Central and play the Bulldogs on December the 16th. They, too, are headed to the Smoky Mountain Classic down in Gatlinburg right before Christmas to round things up there for the Bulldogs. Josh Smock is 100% right. Says he's looking forward to watching Cameron Hayes play this year at Letcher. And Josh and I both know that Cameron's the toughest guy we ever met. When Cameron hurt his leg over there at the Hometown Sports Corner Classic, going up for a shot there, as long as I live to do these ball games, I'll never forget that young man and how he hurt his leg, but just was able to endure the pain until they come and got him. And talked to him at the Mountain Heritage Festival, though, and Cameron said, I feel like I'm 100%. And I know we had a double-figure game over at Prestonsburg, so we're wishing him the best of luck. See some more here. Brandon Myers says starts at 9 a.m. Harvey Thomas wanting to know if I have a schedule for Knott Central. Harvey, if you go to our pictures on this Hometown Sports Corner Facebook page, I've got all of the teams that we cover. I think I've got all the teams that we cover, boys and girls schedule. And Harvey, I'll try my best to post that schedule in the comment section when I get done with the show here too for you. But you can definitely find the Knott Central schedule and on our pictures there on the Facebook page, and you can share that then to your page and you'll have it. But guys, we're about ready to run out of time. I want to go to a commercial break, and then I want to come back and tell everybody about a dirt tracking thing that we got going on here on Hometown Sports for years. We've done this, and this year's no exception. And so we invite you to stick around, and you keep chatting it up with each other, and some comments down here, and I'll try to hit a few of them after this commercial break. We'll be back.
Chad Conley and Conley Insurance Group is your local provider for all your supplemental and life insurance needs. Protection when you need it, peace of mind when you don't. They proudly support all of our youth in this region and wish each team and the athletes a successful and healthy season. Once again, for all your insurance needs, see Chad Conley and Conley Insurance Group. Are you getting...
Hey you, it's me, Marcello. Are you looking for a great place to eat lunch or a dinner? Now go right now to Hot Rods. They have delicious pizza, cheese sticks, spaghetti, wings, a salad bar, and more. You can eat in, carry out, or get a delivery from 4 great locations: Heinemann, Hazard, Allen, and a Betsy Lane. That's a Hot Rods. It's the best place this side of Italy. Mwah!
Are you getting ready to go to Tim Short Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Hazard and buy a new vehicle? Say hello to our friend Brian Gibson. Brian's a family guy who is proud to sponsor tonight's sporting event. Call him at 606-438-0554. He and his family want to wish you a Merry Christmas. He also wants to say thanks to all of his customers that have recently bought vehicles. Once again, that's Brian Gibson at Tim Short Chrysler Dodge Jeep.
The Heinemann ProMart Home Center has everything you need to winterize your home to save on those power bills when that cold winter weather arrives. When you walk through the doors at the Heinemann ProMart, you're greeted by an experienced, knowledgeable staff who knows you, knows what you need, and know where it's located in their store. You don't need your GPS to find your way around the Heinemann ProMart. They're large enough to have what you need, but not so big that they can't offer the service you expect. And Heinemann ProMart is your headquarters for those energy-efficient, world-famous Anderson windows. The Heinemann ProMart Home Center, Highway 160 Heinemann. Call 606-785-3151. Knott County Judge Executive Jeff Dobson and the Knott County Fiscal Court is happy to once again be sponsoring another event featuring our Knott County youth. Judge Executive Dobson and the members of the Knott Fiscal Court encourage you to support all our Knott County youth in all of their academic and athletic endeavors. That positive reinforcement means the world to these student athletes. This reminder from Knott County Judge Executive Jeff Dobson and the Knott County Fiscal Court.
Addiction is a disorder. We treat and we manage addiction like any other disorder. The issue touched me when I start seeing more and more young families fighting addiction, start having babies born with an addiction issue. When we have a great outcome, when we see that person coming back on their feet, working and producing and providing for their family. That's the best outcome, make you feel that you're doing something right.
Nelson Frazier Funeral Home has 2 locations to serve you and your family in your time of need. We remind you that we have several services to offer you. We've been here for you in your past, we're here for you now, and we'll be here for you in your future time of needs. We remind you again that if there's any way that we can help you, we're here for you and your family. Remember, we have 2 locations to serve you. One in Martin, that phone number is 285-5155, and our Hyman office is 785-9808.
And welcome back to Sports Talk here, guys. Special show tonight. Kind of got on here a little bit later, but I'm hoping that this will be the night maybe we can move to about 9:30 on Wednesday nights. I think that's probably the night that's opened up for me on the schedule. And so 9:30, 10 o'clock, somewhere in that neighborhood, we jump on here and talk a little sports on Wednesday nights. Thanks again to Vance Hurley for jumping on and talking to us a few minutes. And then for you that have left comments, you've made the show enjoyable and entertaining to get to kind of chat some with you here in the comment sections. Guys, every year, I guess since we started this thing in 2016, hard to believe that we've been on here now 7 years. I always have an opportunity for you to vote for your favorite dirt track driver in each class. I'm going to let you pick your favorite 4-cylinder driver, sport mod, open wheel modified. There's a bomber, street stock, KDRA category. And then the 5th class, of course, is the late models. Now, what I've done is I let people, in the last 10 days, they've nominated drivers. And we're going to take the top 6, probably top 7 of those that you've nominated. And we're going to make polls. I like these polls where people can go in there and vote for their favorite. Because it's the one way to make sure that we can count the votes accurately. And it also prevents you from voting for 2 different people. So that's kind of neat, and that'll hopefully get started tonight. As soon as I go off the air here, I'll set some of those polls up and try to finish the rest of them tomorrow night. But once again, for the next 10 days, 10, 12 days, we will vote. Actually, 10. Let's say 10, regardless. I learned a long time ago, too, not to leave that open. So the next 10 days, you can vote for your favorite driver. And we'll have that then on the show, I guess, 2 weeks from now. I do want to invite you, too, to come and be with us tomorrow in Hyman. No, not tomorrow. I want to invite you to Alice Lloyd tomorrow. Alice Lloyd College will have a game. Boyce University, I think it is a college out of Louisville. They'll come to town, and we'll play them. That'll keep me, of course. I won't be at North Central's game for that doubleheader. James Sandlin and the Wolfman, I have that game. We will have that game for you, though, on Hometown 24. And somebody said, well, how's that working out? For the first time since 1998, when I started, and I got my dates there a little bit backwards. I started at Hometown Channel 12 is what we called it at the time. Now it's Hometown 24 in 1998. And I worked for those guys. I want to think it was 4, maybe 5 years there in a row. And I didn't quit, nor did I get fired. The business, we just stopped doing sports. And then, of course, the building got flooded, and they didn't do anything for a little while. And then they opened up, and by the time they opened back up, I had already committed and was doing games, was taking care of all the games at Alice Lloyd and doing this gig here on Facebook. And so it's took a little while, but I think our paths have kind of crossed again, and I'm on board to help Josh and Devin and David and Manus and James. We're going to bring you the Hometown 24 games as often as I can. I'll be there with them, and when I can't be there with them, Manus and DAE will do a fantastic job, and James when he can. But we're going to commit to making sure that all of our local teams are covered. Then also we're going to continue to do the game of the week for grade school. We're going to do all of the Alice Lloyd home games. And then we've got a game of the week, sometimes a couple games of the week here on Hometown Sports Corner. Last night's game, the North Central and Pikeville game, last time I checked, had over 4,000 views. And I just want to thank you guys for that. No secret. I want to make sure that everybody knows that with only 10,000, and I'm happy to have 10,000 followers. But some of I guess you call them competitions or whatever you want to call them. Some of the other outlets have 20, 30, 40,000 followers. And so I wanted to prove to everybody that we were capable of having the same number of views, and we did, thanks to you fans. And I really appreciate that. And I'm very appreciative of the sponsors of this show and the sponsors of our ball games. Let me say, too, to a couple of my sponsors here, I'm not able to run your commercials tonight. Well, what would keep you from doing that? The system that I use is on an iPad, and then it will let me use different cameras. And so it's a system that we pay a monthly bill for. It does good with what we need it to do. But we had one iPad and one complete two headphones, all of the audio equipment, and we sent it to broadcast the games down at Hyman Elementary with the Hyman and Car Creek. And then we had the other set that we sent to Jones Fork to do the Jones Fork and Emelina. So then, of course, last night we brought one of the systems up to do the Knott Central game, and I sent it back with the guys because they'll be doing Knott County's games. And I said, I just forgot. I didn't have one of the systems to do the show with tonight, so I brought up an old iPad that's probably got dust on it. It's been so long since it's been used. And it did have some of the commercials on it. And then I pulled up an email that I had emailed a couple of the new spots to some sponsors, and that's how I was able to insert theirs on this old iPad. But that's, again, we'll get them. They've already got plenty of advertisement this week for the dollar amount that they paid, as we've done all these games for you guys. But again, so very grateful for all of our sponsors, and we'll read those off to you and say thanks again to each and every person that sponsors us here on Hometown Sports Corner. Um, it's much needed, as it is our opportunity to hire some help and to be able to do more games. That's how we've been able to do all these games, because we had a few sponsors step up for us, and James and I have spent every bit of that sponsorship money back into doing these games that we've done this year, and to buy the equipment to be two different places at one time. Um, and so it's been well worth it, though. I think the kids, especially at the grade school level, have enjoyed seeing themselves on those games. And I know Logan was on here earlier, and Sparky and Gus, some of those guys that played grade school ball here in Knott County. What would you guys have given to been able to go home at the end of your night and watch your grade school game over again? And man, what we would give to have some Facebook videos of Vance Hurley shooting pretty from over his grade school career. Vance, some of these fellas said they missed getting to see you earlier. I told them they can always go back in the video archives and watch you being on here. And also, Vance, I told him I was going to see if there wouldn't be some possible way that between now and Christmas on one of these shows, we could have you and your friend Heavy Hoover both on here. Could you pull that off, Vance? I hope so, because I've kind of sort of committed this already to doing that. But guys, we thank all of you for being here again. And we want to say thank you to all of our sponsors that have helped make all these things possible for us. And looking forward to some big games next week. I got a bunch of good Alice Lloyd games coming up. Vance puts some things like he does in the comments that sometimes I just got to let you all read for yourself, son. So you all just read that comment that he posted there for yourself and get your own self a life before we go to bed here tonight. But we're getting ready to turn in and say again, good luck to Knott Central's boys and girls teams that'll be playing that doubleheader tomorrow night. Good luck to the grade school teams that are playing. And tune us in. We will have the Alice Lloyd College team here on Facebook, as well as the doubleheader from Knott Central. We'll try our best to have those as well. But that is going to wrap us up. I'm going to head off into the sunset, a.k.a. go get some sleep. Got to be in Prestonsburg bright and early in the morning. Got to go see Dr. Royalty, the old knee. His assistant thinks I got to have a knee replacement. I just ain't hardly ready for that yet. But we'll see what he says when we go see him tomorrow. And we'll see you all at the gym real soon. Don't forget, Friday night, Christmas on Main Street, Santa Claus and Mickey and Minnie and the Grinch and his partner will be there. But guys, that'll wrap us up for tonight. Thanks to all of you for tuning in. Those of you that's been so active in the comment section. Appreciate you all. We'll catch you back here next Wednesday night after I get home from church. Hopefully get the young'un in bed. We'll be on here next Wednesday night. But till then, good.